Have you ever gotten on a bus and let it dictate what you're going to do for the day? Today we're taking a day trip outside of Aarhus and going 40 minutes to Moesgaard Museum. But first we're going to take the bus. At least finding the right bus stop was easy. I was worried that we wouldn't be able to find it because there are a lot of bus lines here, but they had a map that made it very easy to figure out which one to stand at. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we've got a full day ahead, riding the 18-route bus to two of Aarhus' must-visit spots, the Moesgaard Museum and the Tivoli Friheden. And of course, we'll end the day at Aarhus Street Food, tasting some traditional Danish dishes. Let's dive in. Our day started by hopping on the 18-route bus, which is a perfect way to get around Aarhus if you want to explore both history and fun in one day. The best way of getting around Aarhus and the surrounding areas is to take public transportation. Otherwise, taking the taxi or rideshare is much more expensive. Our bus tickets were about $3.50 US per person, so you can't beat that price. You can use the app mid-traffic to buy your tickets. Bus passes are only good for 2 hours after you buy them, so don't buy them too early. We're headed to the Moesgaard Museum first, which is about a 40-minute bus ride from the city center. This museum is known for its incredible Viking and prehistoric exhibits. It was highly recommended by one of the staff members at Den Gambleby, another cool museum in Aarhus.
I was a little worried because I can't read any of the signs. They're all in Danish, and I don't know what stop we get off on. But then I realized the museum's the last stop on the route, so it doesn't really matter.
We passed by the suburbs surrounding Aarhus, and then the scenery changed to forestry. That was an easy bus ride. At least the last stop was Moesgaard Museum, so no need to worry about which stop to get off on. Say, is that a forest on the roof of the museum? I've never seen anything like that. Oh, it looks like this is a popular museum. This parking lot is full. The benefit of taking the bus is that you don't have to worry about the parking. Wait, what is that thing? Is it mowing the lawn? Is it like a Roomba, but for the lawn? Honey, it's coming up to you. Yeah, it's coming up to you. Don't pet it. Don't touch it. Moesgaard Museum isn't just a typical museum. It's a historical, ethnological, anthropological museum. But the most important thing is that they have exhibits dating from the first immigrants, the Bronze Age, the Viking Age, and the Middle Ages. We're going to start off by going to the Egyptian exhibits since the person selling the tickets highly recommended it. Guess we're going to enter the afterlife of the Egyptians. There happened to be a special exhibit on the Egyptians when we were there. Cool. It's like visiting the British Museum in London without having to visit the UK. They had sarcophaguses on display and you could admire the intricate hieroglyphics and designs on them. And they had mummies as well. You know how the Danes are into board games? Apparently, so were the Egyptians, and here's a look at a board game piece. It's Hygge in Egypt. So we just finished the Egyptian exhibit, and that was actually pretty educational. I didn't learn all about the embalming and afterlife beliefs in great detail like that in school. There was a cozy cafe inside the museum where we took a break. I've never seen Hygge tapas before, but that's an interesting concept. The fur or shag throw definitely gave off an element of Hygge as we enjoyed our croissants and iced coffees. So I think this is very interesting. So this is a public cloakroom. There's no attendant, so you basically just have to trust that your stuff will be here when you come back. I think that says a lot about Danish society that they can trust other people not to take their things in a public cloakroom space. Now that we've been properly caffeinated and carbo-loaded with that croissant, it's time to see the rest of the museum. This is the stairway of evolution. So at the very top here, we got Lucy. She's, well, I can't say it, it's too long, but you know what I mean. And then as you go down, you could see the evolution proceeds, and then the end is the Homo sapien. And here we go, the Homo sapien. The exhibits here are immersive, from archaeological finds from Denmark's prehistorical era to Viking history. Here we learn about the melting of the Ice Age leading to the migration of humans between the sea and the forest and shaping what is now Denmark. All right, this was exactly what I was looking for. The Vikings, the Viking exhibit. They weren't around for very long, just barely over 200 years. So according to the introductory video, they really want us to take a key so we can go through this exhibit through the eyes of one of these characters. Okay, I decided. I'm going to take Queen Tove. Looks like an English key. Here's a diorama displaying Aarhus, which was an old Viking town back in the days. To orient us, there was a hologram of the Aarhus Cathedral and the major department store Magasin.
I became his second wife, and I am now a young adult woman.
There was an exciting short clip of an invasion on Aarhus in which the Vikings had to defend it. Gives you an idea of how rough life was. Don't forget, the forest rooftop is part of the museum. It's pleasant being outside and taking in the views of the forests and the trees. Forget about the trees. What the heck? Is that Spider-Man? Yeah, I guess there's Spider-Man. All right, I'm not gonna ask. After learning about the human migration between the sea and the forests, I couldn't help but apply this knowledge to our surroundings. This is the only time when visiting a museum incorporates a leg workout. And as we get up higher, you can see the ocean beyond the trees. Here's the view from the top. We were high up. We were about 21 meters from the bottom, so be careful because that's a long drop if you slip. As I'm taking in the views from the ledge here, I couldn't help but think about those exhibits I had seen earlier, talking about Jutland and its development, how the sea meets the forest, and then it creates the bog, and then the bog man, or the Schwanbell man, and the rest of civilization. Moesgaard is truly a place where you can get some anthropological history and information about the Danish people. It makes you reflect on how your existence is just a small dot in the entire history of humankind. This is a steep decline, so I'm trying to be careful about burning my quads. I guess this is good downhill training for my upcoming races this fall. Oh, but first, I gotta say goodbye to my new mower Roomba friend here. Bye, friend. An afternoon at the Moesgaard Museum is worth it if you're interested in history or want to change from the city scenery of Aarhus. Here's our bus stop. We gotta wait about 10 minutes here for the next bus. Right on schedule, just like the app. So make sure to check the app for the times, especially in the evening hours where it may not run as often. Back to Aarhus we go. Originally, we had planned on going straight to the city center. I even had my phone charged to the outlet on the bus and was hoping that I would get a full charge at the end of the 40-minute ride. This is completely not on our itinerary, totally unexpected, but we saw this from the bus, and so we stopped off and we're gonna go check it out. This chart tells you which attractions you're allowed to ride on based on your height. Now the problem is, for me, it's in the metric system, but I'm pretty sure I'm tall enough to ride all of these. Tivoli Friheden is Aarhus' beloved amusement park and just a few miles outside of the city center, right off of bus route 18, so it's convenient if you want to go there directly. Sometimes you have to live life spontaneously, and if you see something on a bus stop or on the bus route, just get off and check it out. Like here we are at the Tivoli Friheden. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna come straight up and then we're gonna hang a left at the Copenhagen style home over here. And then we're going to head around in a big circle, coming around the swan boats, making a loop, finishing around the roller coasters, and heading down the backstretch back to the entrance. It's a pretty large park, actually.
That sounds like a great game plan that we got here. We didn't buy the pass that include rides, but that's okay. I mean, I've been on many Ferris wheels before, so it's not a big deal. I just wanted to check out this park. It looks like a local amusement park. It's not grand like, Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm, but it's something easily accessible for families to bring their kids, or for tourists who got really curious as to what they saw outside of the bus window. The entrance fee just to walk around was $25 US, and you had to purchase a ride package for an additional $13. Compared to Disneyland admission prices, which starts at $104 without the Genie service and Lightning Lane services, it was a bargain. After spending most of the day at Moesgaard Museum, which was packed full of information and it was dense, it does feel refreshing to be here at Friheden. And even if you're not going to ride the rides, there's still something about walking around here and admiring the decorations. I just can't get over how beautiful it is. It makes you feel like you're in a botanical garden. They have bumper cars, but at my age, I probably would throw out a disc in my back by riding them. Oh, I love the design of that restaurant. It looks so modern and clean, very Scandinavian. Up ahead is a swan boat ride, I guess. It's not a huge body of water, but I appreciate the attempt for the symbolics of it. No way! You can actually bring your own food and grill here. And I do see some family with coolers and they're picnicking on the tables, so yeah, you really can bring your own food and cook it here. No way you could do that at Disneyland. Being able to cook your own food, that certainly brings down the cost of visiting an amusement park. They have amusement park games here, but seeing that my luggage allowance is pretty close to the max, I don't have room for any of these stuffed animals. Oh, this looks like a thrilling ride. Now, I've never been a huge fan of these type of drops where you go to the very top and then they drop you. Yeah, I've been on Superman at Six Flags a couple of times, but it's just not really my thing. The anticipation, you just never know when it's going to drop. Man, they've been up there for a while, at least 10 seconds now. Wow, they're really up there. We're now like on 25 seconds now. Oh, I think they're about to go. Woo! You may notice that the park is decorated with florals, and we happen to have been there during their flower festival. Oh, they have a little dome here. This feels very Hygge, like cozy, just to be able to sit in here and just get away from the noise and the excitement of the park. I'm glad we didn't buy the ride bracelet to go with it, because a lot of these attractions are designed for small children. There are only two that we would have gone on. There's an arcade, which I haven't played these arcade games in years.
Now, do I think that this place was worth what we paid for our entrance fees? Absolutely not. Will I remember this place always because of how bizarre it is? You bet.
That's right. We had spent $25 for admission to the park. Now that's without any rides, and we were only here for an hour because that's as long as we could stay before our bus pass expires to get back into Aarhus. But sometimes you just can't put a price on memories, right? Like this memory that we have here, it's priceless. So it's not the actual cost of the thing that you spent your money on, but it's how well you remember spending the money. And here we go, out. While my husband was a tough critic, I still say that Tivoli Friheden is worth visiting if you want to get a classic European small amusement park experience. Right on time, our bus to Aarhus. After all the excitement, it was time to wind down with some food. We made our way back to the city center and headed straight for Aarhus Street Food. This food hall is a foodie's paradise. It's our last night in Aarhus, and guess what? We're back at the Aarhus Street Food hall. I realize that I've been in Denmark for the past 3 days and I haven't had any traditional Danish food. Remember the first night that we were here? Well, we're back and we're going to try out this stall that has traditional Danish food. I have no idea what traditional Danish food is, but I'm excited to try some of these dishes out. Well, at least the menu is in English, or at least part of it. For traditional Danish food, we got the tarteletter, which is some sort of tart with chicken and a white cream sauce. And I got the Moesgaard, sorry, I totally botched that up. So what it is, it's pork and bacon cooked in a sauce with white rice and mashed potatoes. And of course, we got to get a Carlsberg beer, and I got a ginger beer. The tarteletter is actually pretty good. You can taste the peas and the chicken and the white sauce. It's not as heavy as it looks. Oh, my bad about the Moesgaard, well, I'm botching that up again. So I thought there was rice, but it's actually just mashed potatoes, and there's actually sausages in there. Good thing we're splitting this dish, because there's no way I'd be able to eat this all by myself. It looks rich. It looks like comfort food, but hey, isn't that what traditional food is? And then when you're done, you just put your dirty silverware there, and then you toss out the rest of your trash. As this reusable cup, you can recycle it in this machine and get a little credit. So I wonder how much we're gonna get. All right, so it's reading the card. We're gonna drop it in. It's reusable, and
5 kroners, about
5 crowns. Okay, all right, 75 cents. That's pretty good. Payout. Oh, it's gonna take 2 business days. All right. Guess we'll collect that 75 cents in Copenhagen. It won't pay for much of anything, actually. The fact that we could easily hop on a bus to explore so much of the city really ties into why Denmark ranks so high in happiness. Having a robust public transportation system means less stress, more freedom, and more time to enjoy what truly matters in life, like spending time with friends, family, and exploring beautiful places like Aarhus.